Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to the Rolla Public Library. And we're doing a family story time today. So gather round and make sure you have your eyes for watching the story and your ears for listening. Today, the story is Miss Moore Thought Otherwise, written by Jan Pinborough and illustrated by Debbie Atwell. Once in a big house in Limerick, Maine, there lived a little girl named Annie Carroll Moore. She had large gray eyes, 7 older brothers, and ideas of her own. So here they're taking a family portrait, and instead of Annie being by her brothers, she's trying to get under the camera. In the 1870s, many people thought a girl should stay inside and do quiet things, such as sewing and embroidery. But Annie thought otherwise. She preferred taking wild toboggan rides from the cemetery all the way down past Main Street, or bouncing along in Father's buggy to the sound of Pocahontas's clip-clopping hooves. Through the trees, Annie could glimpse the white mountains far away in the distance. She dreamed about the world that lay beyond and about what she would do someday. Annie loved the stories and poems Father read aloud to her after dinner. On rainy afternoons, she would climb up to the attic to look at a children's magazine called St. Nicholas. In those days, children weren't allowed to go inside libraries. People didn't think reading was very important for children, especially not for girls. When Annie turned 19, many girls her age were already married. Back then, an unmarried girl like Annie might keep house for her parents or perhaps become a teacher or a missionary. But Annie thought otherwise. She decided to become a lawyer like her father, and day after day she went to his law office to learn how. Then, in one terrible week, Annie's parents both died from the flu. When her brother's wife died too, Annie stayed home to take care of her 2 little nieces. Venturing beyond the White Mountains would have to wait. After several years, her brother married again, and Annie heard exciting news. Libraries were hiring women as librarians. Annie packed her bags and traveled to Brooklyn, New York, to enroll in the Pratt Institute Library School. New York was a big city. Some people thought it was a dangerous place for a young woman to live on her own, but Annie thought otherwise. She loved walking along its busy cobblestone streets, going to the circus and the opera, and riding in a horse-drawn car across the Great Brooklyn Bridge. There's Annie, ready to learn how to be a librarian. I wonder what other librarians here would like to help read our story. I know. I'll bring one in with our chimes.
Oh, hi, Miss Tara.
Oh, hi, Miss Lori.
How are you doing today?
Good. I thought you'd want to pop in and help read this story about another librarian.
Of course, I would love to.
Great.
Annie studied hard. She graduated from library school and got her first job as a librarian at the Pratt Free Library. Some libraries were beginning to let children come inside, but Annie's library had something brand new, a library loom plan just for children. Children could come in and take books off the shelf, and in the evening Annie read out loud to them, just as her father read to her. Word spread about Annie's library until one day a man named Dr. Boswick asked her to be in charge of all the children's library sessions in the 36 branches of the New York Public Library. Miss Moore dressed in her finest hat and her suit and visited each library, from Harlem to Chapman Square. She saw that many librarians did not let children touch the books, for fear that they would smudge their pages or break their spines. They thought if children weren't allowed to take books home, they would surely forget to bring them back. But Miss Moore thought otherwise. She trusted children, so she created a big black book with this pledge inside. When I write my name in this book, I promise to take good care of the book I use at home, in the library, and to obey the rules of the library. Miss Moore persuaded the librarians to use this pledge so all the children of New York could check out books and take them home. Miss Moore pushed for other changes too. She urged the librarians to take down the silent sign and spent time talking with children and telling them stories. She pulled dull books off the shelf and replaced them with exciting ones, such as The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Swiss Family Robinson, which we have those in the library. She wrote book reviews and made book lists to help parents, librarians, and teachers find good books for children and to encourage book publishers to publish better children's books. But many librarians still kept children's books locked away in cabinets or tucked away in corners. They did not have enough books for children or enough shelves to put them on. So when it was announced that a brand new library would be built on 5th Avenue and 42nd Street, Miss Moore was determined to make it the new Central Children's Room, the best it could be for all the children of New York. I have an idea. I know another librarian that would like to share this story. What do you guys think? Let's call.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Taryn. We wanted to see if you wanted to help share and read the story today.
Wow, well that looks like a good one. I'm glad you guys called me up. Miss Moore had child-sized tables and chairs specially made. She chose beautiful pictures by N.C. Wyeth and other artists to hang on the walls. For the floors, she found rosy pink tiles from Wales. She gathered collections of shells and butterflies to display. Then, she filled the shelves with the very best children's books she could find. Finally, one warm spring day in 1911, the huge bronze doors of the New York Public Library swung open for the first time. Crowds lined the streets as police escort brought the President of the United States, William Howard Taft, to dedicate the magnificent new library. So you can see William Taft, the President of the United States at that time, riding up to the library to go check it out. When the library opened to the public the next day, the children of New York walked through their own special entrance into the new children's room. Hundreds of new children's books in many languages waited within reach, and beneath every window, a cozy window seat waited for children to curl up in. Here at the Rolla Public Library, we have a very nice children's part of the library too, and we have lots of nice windows that you can read books by. From then on, every day seemed to hold a new surprise in the children's room. Miss Moore organized reading clubs and invited musicians, storytellers, and famous authors like Dr. Seuss to entertain the children. There's Dr. Seuss reading to the children, kind of like the way we read to you guys. Often, Miss Moore would reach into her handbag and pull out a wooden doll named Nicholas Knickerbocker. Children who were learning English felt less shy about talking when Nicholas was around. One day, the King and Queen of Belgium visited the New York Public Library. "You must come see the new children's room," Miss Moore told the Queen. That day, all the children in the library, from the richest to the poorest, shook hands with the King and the Queen. Outside the library walls, 2 world wars, epidemics, and the Great Depression came and went. But inside the children's room, it was always warm and bright, a place where children could meet other children and learn interesting things. In big cities and small towns across America, more and more libraries began to copy Miss Moore's central children's room. So did libraries in England, France, Belgium, Sweden, Russia, and Japan. So Miss Moore's idea was so successful that other countries began to use it in their own communities to help children. When Miss Moore turned 70 years old, it was time for her to retire. Some people thought she should sit quietly at home, but Miss Moore thought otherwise. Her friends at the library gave her a set of luggage with a small green suitcase for Nicholas, and she traveled across the country, teaching more people how to make good libraries for children. Today, libraries across America have thousands of books for children. And thanks to the help of a little girl from Limerick, Maine, who had ideas of her own, any child can choose a book from a library shelf, curl up in a comfortable seat to look through it, and then take it home to read. And there's all the happy kids outside of the library getting ready to read the books that they checked out. Well, that was a really great story, I thought. What did you guys think?
It was a great story. My favorite part was when they took down the library silent sign. I think that was really important. Because kids need to talk and express themselves, even if it's in the library.
Yeah, and come to a library to play and hear music and other storytellers. So I'm glad that Miss Moore thought differently, thought otherwise.
A lot of people don't realize it, but here at the Rolla Public Library, this library actually started as a children's library. It was actually created in 1934 by an organization called the PTA, which stands for the Parents Teachers Association. And what it was a bunch of parents and community leaders who decided that children needed more access to books. There was only one library, it was the university library, and there they didn't have children's books. And kind of like Miss Moore, the parents and community leaders in Rolla believed that children should have access to books. So they wanted to create this library as a way of providing more books to children.
So in the story, her father reads to her up in the attic, and didn't we find some cool pictures of the library from when it was first built up in our attic?
I'm glad you reminded me. So this is a picture of the library. Now, when we were made in 1934, we didn't actually go into this building. This building was the post office.
Correct.
This building was the post office. But in the 60s, that's when we moved into this building. But this building is where we are today. And here's a picture of it from the 1950s. And we're still here today. But yes, that was hidden up in our attic. It was one of our memories from the attic.
And we've since made a hallway extension from what used to be the post office and the library to now what used to be the old Sherwin-Williams Paint Center, and that's where you'll find all the cool kids stuff.
Exactly. We have a nice children's library, and we would encourage all of you. We work hard to make it a nice place for you, a place where you can learn and grow and find cool things that you're interested in. Nonfiction and fiction books. We have a lot of cool stuff for you, and we work hard to also do programming here. We do it here on the children's side. So we have lots of cool stuff, just like Miss Moore. We've been working hard for you so that we can help serve you guys, help you and your families, and we encourage you to come in and use some of the resources that we've been working to provide for you.
Absolutely. And we had a great time today reading you guys about Miss Moore, and we hope to keep doing it in the future, and we'll see you guys next time.
Are we ready to go back to the stacks?
We're
We're ready.
All right. I'm gonna use Tara's magic chimes to sign us out.
Okay.